Hey guys, welcome to the next episode of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. It's episode 8 of Season 2. It's our home Grand Prix. We are off to Silverstone today. It's going to be dry throughout the race weekend, other than a little bit of dampness on the Friday in practice too. So we should be alright strategy-wise. No worries of rain to dampen our spirits. But our spirits might be slightly dampened from the fact that we've dropped backwards in the charts. We're actually now the 5th on paper fastest team behind Aston Martin, which is not worrying because we have a number of items, as you can see, in the process of being done. So we should take a jump forward, hopefully, in the next couple of Grand Prix weekends. Last season in Great Britain, we did not have the best of times. We finished 14th. And that was only thanks to a rather crazy final few laps and a safety car. We were lapping about 19th in that race and struggling for pace against the AI, who are strong here. Like Spain, like Suzuka, the AI are very, very strong at Silverstone. But last time out, we got a career best 7th place in Austria. Career best 7th place. So we're hoping... Obviously, the 5th of Bahrain is null and void. That was a 10th. We had that bug at the beginning of the season. So, we're hoping to build on that. Just another points finish to make it 3 points finishes... Or, sorry, turn that 3 points finishes in a row to 4 straight points finishes would be pretty remarkable. We'll try and keep the streak going if we can. Then it's Hungary, Belgium and the Netherlands after that. But I can't recall whether we had a decent setup for Silverstone or not. I think we were able to figure it out. So we'll go and test the waters in practice and see if we can't find the sweet spot with the setup and hopefully be able to keep up that run of point scoring positions and finishes. Drop the video a like if you enjoy. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more of this second season. And I'm going to head straight over to Silverstone and get on track.
Good work. You seem to have a solid...
Yeah, okay, I'm really happy with that.
Handle on the lap.
That's probably one of the most competent practice programs we've done.
Good corners together will give you a consistency
4 resource points. I feel relatively competitive pace-wise as well. I put exactly the same lap time in as Sergio Perez. To the 1,000th of a second, the exact same lap time. Mental. I think that's the first time we've done that this year on F1 2021. The exact same lap time as a Red Bull, although he was on mediums. We were slightly faster in Sector 1, slightly slower in Sector 2. The AI are really strong in Sector 2, and we were quicker in Sector 3. So I'm faster in 1 and 3, but slower in 2, which is to be expected. Valtteri Bottas was almost a full second faster than me in Sector 2. But we know that the AI are strong through Maggots and Beckett's and Cops, so we're not too surprised at that, but I'm really pleased with that session. We finished P10. Where's Robert?
So let's review our top 3. Hamilton, Bottas,
oh, Robert's 19th, but he was on a set of hards. On a set of hards, so that's fine. There's still pace to come from Robert as well, thankfully.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it.
I'm very pleased with it as well, Claire, to be honest.
To have a home crowd behind you, isn't it?
It's the best feeling in the world to have a home crowd behind you. Best feeling in the world to have Jason Sullivan 2902 subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you, mate. We're really pleased with everything, really. We'll say the power unit has been going well.
Things went well for you today.
Stars aligned. Feeling competitive.
What's the secret ingredient for your performance?
Balance was great. Thank you, Claire. Keep asking questions, though, later in other sessions as well, and that will ensure that we get as much money as possible from our sponsors. Thank you very much. Right. We can just skip straight to quali now. See how many resource points we're going to acquire and accumulate. And then we'll be good to go for, hopefully, a Q2 at least quali run. I don't know whether we'll have the pace for Q3 because of the Maggots and Beckett's pace of the other drivers. But certainly that we could have a strong Q2 finish. What's our best qualifying so far? It was in Austria, wasn't it, where we qualified P9. P9 is our best so far. Let's see if we can do that again. We're going to go quicker. We are going to go quicker. And I think that might have just been P16. Scraped it. We might have just scraped it. Surprised with that everyone else is as quick as they are. I did expect us to not really challenge to get into Q3, but to only just potentially scrape into Q2 is a bit of a surprise, really. 13th and 16th. We did just manage to get through by Jesus Christ. And it was Kimmy that gave us that slipstream down the Hangar Straight. It was Kimmy that we were following, and him giving us that slipstream is what has given us those extra 5,000ths of a second to ensure that we get through to Q2. That very nearly backfired, but I'll be honest, none of us expected for it to be that competitive to get through to Q2, really. I don't think anyone expected us to be qualifying P16 in Q1. But yeah, you're right, the unpredictability does make it exciting. You never know where we're going to finish in quali or where we're going to finish in a race, which is great from an entertainment content-wise. From an entertainment standpoint content-wise. I'm going to go out, set a banker lap. I think that might still be P16, to be honest. I don't think I had enough. The AI are so strong around Silverstone. Even with the car as developed as it is, we're still on the same difficulty setting. And yeah, that's going to be P16, isn't it? 15 for me. Oh no, yeah, 15 for me and 16 for Robert. Ocon qualifies P11 and is half a second quicker. The AI are so strong. Lando did have to go out on softs in the end to make sure he got through. God, they're so strong around Silverstone. It's actually mad. We're challenging for Q3 in Austria, but at Silverstone, we're 1.7 seconds off the pace and scraping through into Q2. It's mad.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it.
It was decent, Claire, but still,
Would you
Christ.
say it is your
Oh, I
biggest
got a new one. I don't want to have any of those as a rival. I can't compete with any of those. That's going to be a rivalry lost. Checo is the only one that I could probably stand any chance. Orlando, the only two that I could stand any chance of actually doing anything against. I'll go with Sergio Perez, but
How did it
Jesus
feel to be racing
Christ.
on home turf? You won't be starting at the front of the pack. Are you worried?
Nothing worries me.
Appreciate your time.
The game's like, all of those teams that you're nowhere near, pick a rival. Thanks. Wow. Yeah, what a surprise. Checo, faster than me. God, Jesus Christ. Great. Sergio Perez has got Arava as his fucking engineer. What chance do I stand?
Let's run you through the driver grid order for
I
today's
don't
exciting
suppose there's
race.
been any grid
Lewis
penalties to give us a little bit of a
Hamilton
boost,
lines up
has
on
there?
pole position, and Valtteri
Lewis
Bottas
on
will
pole,
line up
unsurprisingly.
alongside. As we continue through the
22s
rest
for
of
the
grid
Mercedes.
today, we have
Unbelievable.
Ricciardo, Norris, Max Verstappen, and Vettel, Gasly, Perez, Stroll, and Charles Leclerc. Ocon,
Yeah,
Sainz,
Ocon's still 11th. We're not going to
Yuki
move
Tsunoda,
forward at all. We're going to be
and
P15
Ireland.
to start.
Wood, Schwartzman,
But at least our teammate is
Kimi
right with
Räikkönen,
us.
and
Maybe we can
Mick
try and
Schumacher.
do something.
Joe Nicholas Latifi.
Right, let's have a look at the strategy, and then you guys can decide
Okay, I know it's
what
your
you think we
home
might
Grand
do.
Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
What? What? Why would I take a set of softs that far? That's ludicrous. Surely an extra pit stop. Surely an extra pit stop would be better than that. You know what? We'll stick with this one. We'll go medium soft, but see, look how much time I save. That's crazy. The fact that it wants me to go, it hasn't registered that at all. Look. So we could go 11.3 seconds quicker than the strategy it's actually recommending if I start medium and go to lap 30. That's mad. Right, we're almost certainly going to get lapped here, so I will put a little less fuel in. We'll go as long as we can on that first set of mediums. As long as we can that first set of mediums. And then hopefully we can do something on the softs at the end of the race. Oh, I'm worried about the fuel, though. I am worried about the fuel. Put 99 kilos in. Right, let's do a strategy. We're starting P15. Well, not a strategy. Let's do a prediction. Starting P15. So I will say, will we finish P11 or higher? Because we're going to try something with strategy. So will we finish P11 or higher? That's what the prediction will be. Tyres are up to temperature, though, quite nicely. So we are ready for a race start, but I've no idea if it'll actually be a good start with everyone else on softs, or whether we'll actually fall backwards before we can start moving forwards at the end of the race. Wish me luck, boys, because I think we might need it here. I think we might need it. Ah! Nervous for me home Grand Prix. Really nervous. Here we go. Not a bad start. Better than Callum Ilott at least. Robert's going to jump him as well if he can. I imagine they might brake a bit for turn 1. They have. I got a nudge from behind. That was Callum Ilott hitting me. I got a warning for a collision, but I don't think I did that. I think that was Callum Ilott understeering into me. We'll have a look at the replay. I'm just on the outside, and yeah, he's just got pinched on the apex. Callum Ilott has just gotten pinched on the apex as Robert's on the inside of him. I've come in a little bit, but I didn't know. I wasn't to know that Robert was also on his inside. So he's gotten pinched there with nowhere to go. I've left enough room for it. You can see how much room I've left because Gasly's effectively taken the line that Callum Ilott would have wanted to take. It just so happens that Robert's like, excuse me, I'm going to come through here if you don't mind. And, well, 3 into 2 or even 3 into 1 doesn't go. But, yeah, we've tag teamed him there a little bit. Robert, I think, has taken some front wing damage as well. No, he's gotten away with it. Robert, no front wing damage for Robert. No damage for me, unless I got a little bit of damage on the floor from where Callum hit me. But Callum has lost entirely the right-hand side of his wing. He's lost the entire right-hand side end plate. You can see it flying through the air there to the left of the screen towards Mick Schumacher. So Callum is definitely going to have to pit. Callum is definitely going to have to pit for a new front wing at the end of this first lap. I'm going to nip up the inside of Robert there. Get ourselves back into, or up into P14. I'm going to have to utilise my battery as best I can just to stay in touch with those in front. But this, more so probably than any other race we've had so far in our career, is us playing the real, proper long game. This is a super long play to go 30 laps on medium tyres to then try and do something against them later in the day. I think Robert might have damage, you're right. Surely there's no way he's 4.2 seconds slower. Yeah, Robert's pitting. Robert does have damage. Same damage as... That's my fault as well, isn't it? Same damage as Callum. When I nipped up the inside of him at turn 4, or turn 3, I've taken the side of his wing off. There goes the teamwork. I kind of ruined that. I have pulled an Aiden Jackson, yeah. I just went to nip up the inside of him. I didn't think we'd made that much contact, to be honest. The gaps, they're so much faster on the soft tyres. We just have to hope that in the extra heat here of the race, that those soft tyres for them go off quite quickly. But as the clouds come over later in the Grand Prix, around mid-race...
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead.
It will play even further into our hands and help our mediums go that much longer. This is going to be a lonely first stint, lads, I think. A lonely first stint. But it could get absolutely nuts at the end. Thank you for the follow, Siak, or SJ, or SJack. I don't know how to pronounce your username. It's such a shame that the AI are so strong at our home track. Like, we can be challenging for points quite comfortably in Austria. Yet you come to Silverstone and you're back at the back again, even with a car that's like 4th or 5th fastest on the grid. See, Raikkonen's not massively closing on us because he's driving into clear air, whereas those in front are all in a DRS train, so are able to extend the gap because they're all getting DRS on everyone else. Yellow flag up front, that's a McLaren. That's a McLaren.
In the next part of the track, no overtaking through the yellow flags.
He's still moving, he's still going, so the McLaren's had an incident up front. He's just dropped it. Lando's just dropped it, coming round Stowe. That's very peculiar. DRS is closed, and on the apex of Stowe, he's just binned it. got on the power too quickly. The rear end of the car has said no, and round he goes. Well, that's ruined Lando's race. We are closing up on him now. Thank you, Thomas, for those 300 bits and the follow as well. So 3.8. Look at that. I took cops not perfectly, but not terribly, and we lost 4 tenths on Lando just through. That's a second. Through cops and Maggots and Beckett's, that's a second that Lando's pulled out. The AI are too strong around Sector 2 at Silverstone. It's silly. That needs a patch. Kimmy's now within a second of us. It's just as bad on 60 difficulty, is it, Ryan? I don't know whether that's comforting to know or not. The fact that it's not just at the higher difficulty that it's an issue, or that you guys are having to put up with it as well. I could lower the difficulty and not use flashbacks for anything other than, like, massive incidents. But I'm sure you guys would rather I raced at the very maximum of my ability and used the occasional flashback than lower the difficulty, didn't use flashbacks, but destroyed everybody else in the majority of circuits. I'm having to battle with Kimmy here. He flew up the inside of me, but I closed the door on him. I think he might have a little bit of damage. I actually got DRS. I think he might have a little bit of damage there after coming up the inside of me at Maggots and Beckett, sorry. But I mean, I'm on the inside there. He has to leave me racing room. I am tucked right up to the grass. If he has gotten damage from this, or even if I've gotten damage from this, he has to leave me racing room. He does not. I do have a little bit of damage from Kimmy coming up my inside there. So he's just, all that's happened is he's lost a little bit of momentum. But I've actually picked up some damage there. And look at it. I've got a scuff on my side pod as well. Look at the scuff on my side pod. Does that come from Kimmy's rear tyre? That may have come from Kimmy. Or was it already on the car? It was already on the car from earlier on in the Grand Prix. So Kimmy's coming around my outside here. Watch the left side of my front wing. He's going to nudge me there. And actually, that scuff mark on my front wing comes from front wing contact. And the scuff mark on my left side pod was already there. But yeah, all the time you have to leave the space. For the minute, we are able to hold Kimmy up behind. And Mick Schumacher's not closing us down, so the Haas is nowhere near us. Kimmy's having a little look there, but doesn't really stand a chance of doing anything. We're definitely holding Kimmy up here, but we're hoping to return the favour later in the race when we're on softs and they're on the mediums. It's rewarding to know that you guys struggle with the AI at Silverstone as well. I just can't cope there with Kimmy's pace. I try and stick in his DRS for as long as I can. Just going to try and stick with Kimmy now as best we can. For as long as we can. I don't know when their soft tyres will start to go off. Probably around about lap 20 maybe. There might be a changeover between when we end up being on the better tyre. Ooh. Just so fast through Maggots and Beckett's. Just can't stick with them.
Come on, we need to get past.
Shut up, Jeff, I'm trying. Fastest laps just set by Daniel Ricciardo, etc. Don't tell me they've pit already. No, they haven't. They're on mediums. Oh no, Daniel Ricciardo. Where's Ricciardo? Oh yeah, they're on mediums and setting fastest laps now. So I think the switch over between where the soft is the best tyre and the medium is the best tyre is now happening after 15 laps. I think that's now happening. Latifi went to hards when he stopped. Who did he have contact with? I'm not sure. He had to pit on lap 2. No, on lap 9 for front wing damage, Nicholas Latifi. This might be where the race starts to come to us. If the mediums are now going to be the stronger tyre at this stage. Right, so if my medium tyres are now 20% worn, I'm going for Kimmy up the inside. the tight left-hander. We've done it. We're back into P14. I'm going to try and not pay Kimi any attention whatsoever. I'm just going to concentrate, drive my race, and try not to lose much time. Checo's in the pits. Okay, so one of the front lot have pit now. So they're starting to pit on lap 19. Those that made it through to Q3. Starting to pit on lap 19 for their medium tyres. Unless Checo is two-stopping and going soft, soft, medium, or soft, medium, soft. We will check. What is Checo doing? Perez is going soft, medium, so I imagine he's doing a one-stop, and that is his only stop of the race now. No, I can't take Copse flat. Not at the moment. Maybe on soft tyres, although to be fair, we weren't able to take Copse flat. We weren't able to take Copse flat even in qualifying, so...
20.0 seconds.
No. There are a couple of other drivers in the pits now. Leclerc and Gasly. They're switching to medium tyres. God, the car feels so twitchy right now.
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap.
Here they come. There's Gasly. There's Leclerc. We're up to P12. But these guys are on fresh medium, so we'll be faster than us now. I try to stick with them if I can, but I don't know as it'll happen for more than half a lap or so. 20% wear all round now. How they take Copse as flat as they do baffles me. With these guys having come out where they have, if I can just stick in their DRS for another half lap, then Norris is in the pits now as well. Driving like an absolute idiot right now. Then maybe that will help us defend from those behind and hopefully help narrow the gap slightly to those that were in front of us, like Lando, like Tsunoda, etc. But Leclerc is going to have DRS on Gasly as well, which is going to mean that he's much faster than probably we're able to keep up with. Just going to have to try and use my battery as best I can to stick with them, but it's certainly helping gain the gap behind. Look, the gap to Kimi's grown to 2.5 seconds now. So having DRS on these guys might actually help bring our race back to us a little bit. We're not planning on stopping for another 9 laps. Sainz is in the pits right now as well. There you go, they're gone now. Leclerc is out of my DRS range. Or I am out of DRS range on Leclerc. So there goes my brief use of DRS so far in this race. We've got a couple of laps of it. It helped open the gap to Kimi behind. Other than that, not really done much else. What do I think about Liverpool this season? They'll be better than they were last year. Checo has now taken Kimi behind. There's Tsunoda in the pits. So he'll go to mediums to the end of the Grand Prix. Now his soft tyres lasted 23 laps. We're going to need ours to last about the same, really. We're fine on fuel. We're absolutely fine on fuel. So I'm not going to need to worry about fuel saving at all. Sergio Perez is our new rival. Stroll is in the pits now. He's going for it into turn 1 up the inside. He's got so much grip. He can take that flat. I can't. Even on fresh tyres, I can't take that. I can't take Abbey flat. Let alone now. We'll try and stick with Checo as best we can. No, it's not a setup issue, Chirping. It's quite simply the AI are strong at Silverstone. Everyone has the same issue at Silverstone and at Spain and at Suzuka. Ocon in the pits. So we're actually running P9 currently, as everyone else is pit. It's such a slow pit stop here at Silverstone that the one stop really is the only option. Yeah, the Brentford save will take us all the way to FIFA 22. And then... Jesus Christ, Lance, you're not getting through there, pal. Then the first save on FIFA 22 will be a Creator Club series, I would imagine. I can't do anything to defend here. Surely it's just going to go down. We're going to be 3 wide, maybe. Cheers, Lando.
Check.
Appreciate it, mate. He still hit me. I'm trying to lose as little time as possible so that when we pit to softs, we're as far up the track as possible. But if Lando's going to try and throw up the inside of Stowe from half a car length away, it's not really going to do anybody any favours, is it? No worries, Archie. Catch you later, dude. I might pit this lap. I'm going to pit this lap.
We can take you this lap.
Carlos Sainz has gone to the hard tyres, which is a strange choice. Sainz has gone onto the hards, you see behind, in the top left. Sainz is on hard. I don't know whether he ran out of mediums or what, but I think he's going to be the only one that's on the hards. Latifi went to the hards early because he had to stop for wing damage, but Sainz on the hards is an odd decision. Sainz on the hards is an odd decision. The front runners have now come in for a set of softs, and I'm going to do the same this lap. I know, Kimi's still out on those softs, which is remarkable. But if he can do a stint that long on the softs, then it gives me confidence that we will be fine on ours. The pace difference, the way they take cops flat is a joke. I still won't be able to take cops flat even when I pit for a brand new set of fresh soft tyres. Right, so we're going to be basically a full pit stop behind 11th placed Tsunoda. 37 miles an hour at Silverstone. So we're pitting then for a set of softs. It's such a long pit stop here at Silverstone. We've got loads of fuel left. Don't need to worry about that. So I have no idea where we're going to pit. Kimi's now pitting from behind us. Kimi's also pitting from his set of softs.
Robert is in the pits. Robert in the pits. Go,
and our teammate's pitting too. Our teammates just pit too, but hopefully they'll be ready for him by the time he gets there. Thank you for the follow, Neuroid and Flynn and Taz as well. Welcome to the channel, guys. Yeah, decent stop. 2 seconds. A decent. I do that every time at Silverstone. I never take the corner tight enough.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. You'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
So we're on soft tyres to the end now. The gap in front is sizable. 25 seconds. We're in P14. We have a 25-second gap to try and close down in 23 laps. Safety car, please. If there is a safety car at any point, we do have another new set of each compound to go to. So if there is a safety car at any point and the opportunity to pit arises, we will still pit for a fresh set of softs. Or still be able to pit for a fresh set of softs if we want to. I'm on brand new soft tyres and we are, on paper, the 5th best fastest car. On paper, we are supposedly faster than Ferrari. On paper. But Carlos Sainz is on hard tyres. I'm on fresh softs and I can't close the gap at Silverstone. It's track specific. There are some tracks where the AI are strangely slow, or some parts of some tracks where they're strangely slow, and other parts of other tracks like Silverstone where in sector 1 and sector 3 I can match them, but in sector 2 you lose like a second. We're gonna need a safety car basically, like we got at the end of Silverstone last time around.
Okay, gap ahead is 25.7 seconds.
And it does suck that it's at this track, because obviously it's my home track, and it's a track that is so much fun to drive. We are the next car to get lapped as well. If you look on the minimap, chasing me down is the Mercedes. So if there is to be a safety car, we need it to happen before we get lapped or after the Mercedes have lapped everybody else in front of us. But the gap to those in front of us is so big that those in front of us won't get lapped before the end of the race. So basically, we need a safety car before lap 40. So we're getting lapped by both Mercedes. Lewis is currently P1, Valtteri P2. But they've been right next to each other for the entire Grand Prix. Out their way as they go through cops. The way they change direction and carry speed is just insane. Oh, Checo retires. Checo is out. Our rival who was miles away from us, is out of the session. That's an AlphaTauri. Engine. Honda engine goes. P13. Yay! At least we will be when we catch up to where he's retired from. We'll be P13. Where's Checo pulled over on the inside, but you can see him there. Up into P13 we go. Oh, we're getting dizzy. We're so high up.
Okay, the incident has been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed.
A safety car would have been a... Actually, probably wouldn't have done us any favours, but still, it might have
Okay,
thrown something into the mix. If we have a safety car now, because we've been lapped, but Ocon, etc. in front haven't, if a safety car comes out, then we will just be a lap behind, or over a minute 20 behind Ocon and Sainz in front of us. 26.4, our fastest lap of the Grand Prix, with 2 laps to go for us on lap 50. Lap 50 and 51 will be as far as we go because we've been lapped. And actually, Ocon and Sainz have now been lapped as well, just at the end of the Grand Prix. Ocon and Sainz have literally just been lapped.
Is dropping back by about 3/10 a lap.
So the 2 Mercedes have lapped everybody up to and including 11th place. So the only people on the lead lap are those in the points. And unfortunately, our 3-race points scoring streak comes to an end today, unless there are 3 retirements in the next lap and a half. It's a shame because I love this track. And I'm sure once we're fully upgraded in Season 3, we'll be challenging for points at least here at Silverstone, if not podiums and wins at other Grand Prix, at other racetracks. You can see Ricciardo's just done a 24.6. So he's basically 2 seconds a lap faster than me at the end of the Grand Prix, which is just outrageous, really. We haven't been able to close on Sainz on those hard tyres at all throughout the course of this final stint. Silverstone is just not a happy hunting ground for us in this save, but once the car is more competitive here, then we will be winning races everywhere else, or challenging for podiums everywhere else, and hopefully challenging for like a P8 or 9 here at Silverstone. But unfortunately, we have been a lonely little duckling in this race. 25 seconds behind those in front for the entirety of this stint. 15 to 20 seconds in front of those behind us for the entirety of this stint. And the majority of the first stint was spent a long way, or growing, seeing a gap growing to those in front. And, oh, Bottas won! Bottas got Lewis at the end of the race. Well done, Valtteri. And we were just basically lapping with Kimi at the beginning of the race. But Lewis was leading the race for almost the entirety of it. I wonder if Valtteri was able to nip in ahead of him on that penultimate lap where they lapped Ocon and Sainz? Perhaps so. Perhaps so. It's not very often that Valtteri gets the better of Lewis, but Valtteri Bottas is going to win this British Grand Prix. Yuki gets driver of the day. Sure, Yuki started last, I think, didn't he, with a penalty, and only finished like 15th or 16th, I think. But Valtteri from Lewis from Daniel. Another podium for him in the McLaren. I wonder how long it would take for him to get one in real life at the McLaren.
So, let's review
Yes, you guys won the prediction, those of you that voted for us not to finish P11 or higher. We finished P13 after a P15 start, so we do go forward. We did move forward, albeit only by one place on track. We actually only went forward one place on track because Sergio retired. Robert finishes P15 in the end.
And we'll see you for the next one.
So he was challenging with us, would have challenged with us for the majority of the race if we hadn't had that contact at the beginning. Probably would have been ahead of us if he and Callum Ilott hadn't had to pit lap 1 for a new set of tyres. So we probably would have gone backwards, unfortunately. But that is the nature of the AI at Silverstone, and there's not really anything you can do about it.
Take on it.
You just have to wait.
You had a lot of fans out there today. Does the pressure get to you?
You just have to wait until you're competitive enough to be able to compete here, and then you'll be super competitive and probably winning championships everywhere else. I've improved vastly since this time last year, which we have everywhere else but Silverstone. To be fair, we have improved vastly over Silverstone last year because we were lapping around about 19th, and it was only because of a late dramatic safety car that we were able to finish P14 at Silverstone last year. But a P13 on pace this year rather than a lucky P14. I did beat my rival during the race. I did. He retired. Oh, Sabag. We only get minimal money then from our sponsors, frustratingly. And obviously outside of the top 10, so we don't get anything from Lupo either. But we should be, hopefully, back inside the top 10 for the next Grand Prix at Hungary. But let's do simulator training for Robert. Let's do power team building, sponsor event, and power equipment upgrade as well. And hopefully, how long is it until we need to redo the contract? 49 days. And Robert is now valued at 3 million. Robert's valued at 3 million. We've nearly $6 million. And then the next cheapest driver is Nicholas at 9 million. So I might upgrade one more of our facilities sooner rather than later. We've got some resource points to spend. I'm not sure where to spend them at this particular moment in time, though. Part failed, unfortunately, for the fuel efficiency, so we'll have to go back in and redo that, the fuel flow regulator, but that's only going to cost us... It's actually still going to cost us 500, unfortunately, which is going to set us back. It's the facilities that I need to upgrade to Spec 3 next to be able to actually move the car onto the next level. And I think I'm going to do chassis more so earlier than anything else. But I can't... Whoa, we really can't afford anything elsewhere. Look, it's over 10 million, 12 to 14 million for everything else. So we can do the fabrication, and that'll be up to level 2. But we're not going to be Spec 3 on anything else until next season, I wouldn't imagine. Not at this rate. But we'll find out whether we jump past the Martin again by the time we get to Hungary. The marketing department thing where we'll lose resource points but gain acclaim, or just gain resource points? I'd rather have the resource points, to be honest. We need the resource points more than the acclaim at the moment. So that puts us back up to 1600. There is a summer break after the Hungarian Grand Prix, so we don't really need to worry too much about getting the resource points in sooner rather than later. Chassis upgrade hopefully will pass. Well, that's just the facility upgrading. So we have 2,000 resource points to spend, which is still only enough really to do one upgrade, and then we'll be able to do one more after the next Grand Prix. So after the next practice session. I could do brakes. I've never really upgraded the brakes, to be honest. DRS slot gap's probably going to be important. Let's do that. We'll do the DRS slot, and then we'll start to concentrate on brakes, because we're not going to be able to get could do the energy recovery system again. We're not going to be able to do anything else in the chassis until we get Spec 3, which isn't going to be till next season, so we can literally concentrate everywhere else now. And we just have to hope that there are any individual... what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, engine power could be good. We get a bit more engine power. Ah, department capacity reached. Also, I'm not going to be able to do that one either then. Okay, so that's where... Actually, we are on paper now back above Aston Martin, but let's go to the race weekend in Hungary just to see if they now overtake us again or if we can stay above them. Thank you for the follow, Tim. Appreciate it, mate. For the YouTube video, this will be bringing us to a close, though. A wet P3, but everything else is... Oh, it's going to be a cool race. It'll be dry, but 21% chance of rain for the entirety of the Grand Prix, which obviously is a 79% chance of a dry race. So no worries there. In the R&D progress, we are back above Aston Martin and actually have supposedly closed the gap on McLaren and Red Bull, specifically McLaren, who haven't improved at all between Great Britain and Hungary. They haven't improved at all between the last race and the next race, and Red Bull have had the gap closed on them as well. Hopefully we'll be closing the gap further by the time we get to Spa as well for the next Grand Prix. But that will be us for this YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Do drop the video a like if you've enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more. If you want to watch these streams live, there's a link in the description down below where you can join me over on Twitch. And as you see this video, we will be racing at Spa later on this afternoon. Not Spa, Hungary, later on this afternoon. So come and join me this Monday afternoon, and I will see you then. Ta-ta.